So here we are, the end of 2015, and I gotta say, banner year for sucking shit and blowing ass, right? I mean, tons of meaningless death and violence all around, idiotic politics up and down the country. The memes were stale, but you know what? Underneath it all, I gotta say, there's probably at least a few good video games, right? Who the fuck? So I'm gonna go through my favorite games of 2015 in many different categories of varying stupidity now. Of course, as you all know by now, my opinion is 100% absolute and infallible. So if you don't like what I picked, please write me a letter, let me know how you feel, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to 666 my ass. Best writing. Honey Pop. Yep. A hentai game wins best writing. Who'd have thunk it? But you see, unlike most games of this type, the characters are actually written like real human beings instead of tired archetypes. This game has its stereotypes, sure, but outside of the bonus characters, they're pretty relatable. It's not like the demure girl with amnesia, the tsundere childhood friend, or the little sister who's not actually blood related and is also secretly a mad scientist. Some of the girls are written like sarcastic assholes, and let's be frank, that's how some people talk, at least in North America. I would have said all English-speaking countries, but then I remember that England exists. I'm gonna chalk it up to being a Western-made game, but it's nice to see a dating sim not be a bumbling, awkward train wreck. I was playing just as much to hear more dialogue as I was to see anime titties. I can also say with certainty that no other game this year made me laugh, or come, as hard as Honey Pop. Best soundtrack. A game. An indie game. Made in Game Maker. Beloved by almost all who have played it, with a soundtrack that pushes it above and beyond. Of course, I can only be talking about Hotline Miami 2. Yeah. Fuck you guys. Carpenter Brutes in this one. Megalo who? Worst load times. Just Cause 3. Come on, load! I'm reloading a challenge! Why is this taking so long? This could have just as easily been given to the unpatched version of Bloodborne, but thankfully, I missed out on that version. The load times in the console version of Just Cause 3 are both horrendous and sporadic. I've had some load times take somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 seconds, and some that took what was probably actually 2 minutes. Please, Avalanche, and I know you guys are listening, don't worry. Please optimize and patch the console versions of Just Cause 3. My computer definitely won't be able to run that shit, and I would love, love, love to keep wreaking havoc and having dumbass fun on the islands of Medici. Well shit, now I look like a huge asshole, don't I? Scariest game. Spooky's House of Jump Scares. While Five Nights at Freddy's sit hopelessly and wait and hope nothing gets you gameplay does indeed build tension, getting chased by a horrific, barely animated 2D sprite slowly floating towards you is also really frightening, it turns out. And that's pretty much what Spooky's House of Jump Scares is. The game was playable last year, but it was officially fully released this past summer. What starts off as a parody of horror games, what with its cute cardboard cutout literal jump scares, slowly turns more sinister as more and more real monsters are thrown at you. And when the silence of the long periods of empty repetitive hallways is broken, you know you're in deep shit because something is coming for you. And usually it and the house itself tries its damnedest to confuse and disorient you. What's worse is that most of the monsters are these 2D sprites, and adding that on top of the low poly makeup of the house and the oppressive darkness that fogs anything more than a few feet in front of you lends this really scary uncanny valley feel to each encounter, at least for me anyway. It might not seem like much, but this was definitely the game that gave me the biggest frights this year. And best of all, it's 100% free on Steam. Like, you can go play this game right now, and you should. Most useless peripheral. Amiibo. It's been a year. It's been a full goddamn year, and these things still don't really do anything. These are still the only toys to life that don't actually function the way literally every other toys to life function. The closest we have to that is Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, and that game is bullshit. What happens when I scan an Amiibo? I can watch Shulk beat up other Nintendo characters. I can play as a Mii wearing a Samus helmet. I can Finally access a series of really poorly remixed story mode levels with different weapon loadouts in order to unlock costumes and content, essentially making this a physical $13 piece of DLC. Now, obviously, I like Amiibo. I've gone out of my way to get some that are a little harder to find than others. And I can appreciate that most Amiibo are cross-compatible with a lot of different games, even if it's something dumb like costumes, because it would be unrealistic to expect Nintendo to put that much work to have every single Amiibo add a new character or something. But they need to make a Nintendo Landers type of game because I've collected pretty much every figure I care about, and that's the only thing that's going to bring me back in. That or a Waluigi Amiibo. Oh, god damn it, they brought me back in. Best pause screen. Hotline Miami 2, wrong number. Look at that shit, that's so fucking cool! Biggest surprise. Honey Pop. I really didn't know what to expect going into Honey Pop except for maybe another schlocky hentai game with Bejeweled in there somewhere. And what I ended up getting was a really smart dating sim with one of the best match 3 games I've ever played. Seriously, I played a hentai puzzle hybrid for 15 hours. There's a reason it's the first review I did. It's a fantastic little game that really came out of nowhere for me, and I'm really excited to see if the upcoming Honeycam studio can live up to its legacy. Good on you, Ryan Coons and Honey Pop and whoever the fuck else I didn't credit. You guys are awesome. Let me suck your dicks. Most penises. Shower with Your Dad Simulator 2015. Well, another year gone by where the male phallus is greatly underutilized in video games. Women complain a lot that they're underrepresented in the medium, but I see tits in games all the time. I only see a dick once every 5 years, and when I do, it's usually followed by controversial earth-shattering headlines. Thankfully, we have games like Shower with Your Dad Simulator 2015 to balance out the matriarchy with its pixel art blood sausages. What's great about this game is that it could have just been like, ha ha ha, do you get the joke? You paid $1 for this. But it's actually pretty addicting of a game, too. It feels like it was designed with mobile platforms in mind, and like the best games of that type, its simplicity is what keeps you coming back to play it for a few minutes at a time, over and over and over again. They layer on the challenge nicely over time, and there's a few alternate modes to try out once you've gotten tired of the standard Enduro Dad and Dadthalon game types. I mean, for one whole American dollar, why not have this extremely suspect piece of software in your Steam library? Where was I going with this again? Oh yeah, this game has pixel dongs. Biggest time sink. Fallout 4. Like, really, what were you expecting to be in this category? I don't even... Best story. Undertale. There. Finally. Undertale wins something. Tumblr, the game, finally wins an award from a cisgendered white straight male. Satan's probably like, who's fucking with my thermostat? But seriously, I wanted to so badly give this to Bloodborne because it's got the Lovecraftian horror and some really cool theories, but that's all they are. Theories. There's not enough concrete stuff to go off of, and Undertale actually has that once you dig deeper. I didn't expect a lot out of everyone's new favorite indie game, TM, but some epic stuff started happening near the end, and it made it worthwhile for me. It might just seem like a funny game full of dad jokes for memers, but Undertale's actually got a pretty decent story, so go watch my Let's Play, but do it after you've already seen the story. I don't even know anymore. What the fuck am I... So before we get to the actual Game of the Year, I just wanted to list off some of the categories that I either didn't have time to capture and edit, or I didn't have the means to capture the footage in the first place. And I didn't want to just steal someone else's footage or have certain developers bomb my account with copyright strikes. So here's all the stuff that I wrote down that's not actually in this video. Best game I finally got around to playing this year, so I'm not doing one of those lists people do where it's like, I'm gonna make my Game of the Year list about games I personally played this year, making this list for me and nobody else. Fire Emblem Awakening. Most disappointing delay. Persona 5, because they kept saying over and over, it's coming out in 2015 in Japan and North America, and then it was delayed to next year. Best looking. Splatoon. It was just really, really eye-catching. I just really liked the way it looked. Game everyone forgot about a month later. Dying Light. Didn't help that that game came out in like January, so everyone forgot about it by now. Best announcement. Cloud in Super Smash Bros., with the runner-up being old DLC and instruments working with Rock Band 4. Because let's be real, I could see Bayonetta and Ryu being in Smash Brothers, but Cloud was like completely out of left field for me. Worst character. Konami Mashita from Persona 4 Dancing All Night, with the runner-up being Alphys from Undertale, because they're both really annoying, shitty characters that ruin their respective games. Best multiplayer? Splatoon. Most infuriating co-op? Yoshi's Woolly World. Leave it to Nintendo to make the best and worst multiplayer games of this year. And lastly, most disappointing, Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Game of the Year. Bloodborne. This was my first Souls game, and I loved every single minute of it. Even the minutes when I was getting my ass torn apart and I wanted to spike the controller into the apartment downstairs. I hear tell this one is faster than the other games in the series, and I'm glad it is. It's engaging and it's visceral. I mean, literally, they have a thing in there called the visceral tax, so, like, they knew. The world of Yharnam and the surrounding areas might be pretty gray overall, but the atmosphere is so thick you could cut it with a saw cleaver. And the learning curve seemed pretty solid due to the fact that early bosses were wrecking my shit, but I was able to beat a lot of the later bosses after 1 or 2 tries. I really felt like I had gained mastery over this game and the enemies therein. I mean, the PS4 really needed a killer app, and I think Bloodborne is easily that game. Well, that or Frozen Freefall, you stupid fucking pieces of shit. It's a bad movie. It's such a bad movie. Tangled was so much better. Wreck-It Ralph was so much better. Big Hero fucking 6 was so much better. I hate you. I hate you, you stupid snowman voiced by that guy from the Book of Mormon. You fucking dumb piece of shit with your carrot nose. You gay idiot. Like this video? Want to see more? Consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/junkfoodking. A big special thanks to my current patrons Sean R, Justin S, and Willie Fresh, as well as Phazon117 and Blackhat0061. Thank you all for making this just a really great year for me. You're what keep me doing this. What is up, guys? It's Junk Food King here, and thank you for watching this Games of the Year video. Now, if you're new, I do animations and game reviews, some of which are down there, so please check those out if you want more. And I also do a podcast called Random Assault, and there's me and the co-hosts from that playing Streets of Rage 2. You can like my page on Facebook to keep up with my videos at facebook.com/thejunkfoodking. And of course, like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm going to have so much more coming in 2016, like new cartoons, reviews, and live-action shenanigans. A reminder that the boys from Random Assault and I are going to MagFest at the Gaylord Hotel and Convention Center in National Harbor from February 18th to the 21st. So please, come over and say hi if you see me, assuming I actually have fans. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in 2016. Let's hope it's less shitty year for everyone.